Well, it was in 2008 that I joined government, and I was doing my master's of law abroad, actually. I was doing a focusing on law and the global economy at that point. And I was doing part of it in Shanghai, actually, and Singapore. And the opportunity for RPL came up as it does the cycle in the fall. I was in the process of finishing my master's. And was really excited about the prospect of coming to work in public service here. And in a way, I think the unique opportunity to blend my legal background and policy. And really, when you think about it, where can you focus on public international law, which was my background, frankly, very, very few places. And the chance to be able to do it in a practical setting where you're actually informing and guiding decision making within government was very exciting. So I applied through that process. I had a wonderful Sherpa. I still remember the book he put together for me of interviews to pursue, and the chance of meeting people around town, getting a sense of what the priorities were in a number of different government departments, led me ultimately to work in the legal bureau at it was then called DFAT, then DFAT, then GAC, now GAC. But that was my first job in multilateral treaty negotiation in the legal bureau at GAC.
Okay.
Well, it's been a fascinating journey the last few years. I've had a chance to get some experience at PCO and at TBS prior to my current job. So just kind of understanding how those central agencies function, I think has been extremely helpful in understanding the MC process, how Treasury Board submissions work their way through the system, because they're consistent tools that will, regardless of where you find yourself in government, understanding them can be extremely helpful. So I did spend some time there, and also at ECCC, Environment and Climate Change Canada, for a bit during the Paris climate change negotiations, when a new government was just elected, a brand new minister. So working to bring her and her very brand new team up to speed during a transition was really something. And now in my current job, focusing on an interesting mix of responsibilities, still the international piece there. So the international affairs, really working to support and shape and inform the government's engagement, especially on innovation and emerging technology in the G7 and G20 context, with the CAN-US relationship, Canada-EU, navigating the complexities of the relationship with China, but also looking at AI in particular. And that's been a fascinating part of my current job, which wasn't a huge part when I started a few years ago, but now has increased in importance and emphasis, in the sense that, you know, we've established an AI advisory council and a global partnership on AI, which Canada now chairs and leads, and has translated from a bilateral initiative into a multilateral one. So having the opportunity to guide and shape the international dimensions and connect them back to the domestic and vice versa has been really rewarding, and just a really positive experience. What I would say is, I think it's really important as you're going through the process to keep an open mind about, I mean, the diversity of experiences within government. That's one of the key characteristics about working for government, is the opportunity to move through different places and really gain a variety of perspectives about how government works, either, you know, in a department or at a central agency. For me, I knew I had a very strong interest in international law, international policy development. What I didn't realize at the time is that there's so many different ways of looking at international policy development within the government. So yes, I started at Global Affairs and had the opportunity to work through, you know, the legal bureau there, but then moved into a number of different departments, but still carrying that stream, or that strand of international interest throughout my career. be it at TBS, Treasury Board of Canada Secretariat, where I focused on the open government partnership, or at Environment and Climate Change Canada, as I mentioned, but also working in the international dimension there. And even now in my current job, focusing on international AI collaboration. So I would say you might have certain conceptions about which department does what, but really approach the process with an open mind and an open spirit, and the opportunity of meeting new people and understanding how government works, I think, is extraordinary. It's an exceptional opportunity. So enjoy the whole process, not just the end result, but the meetings and the learning that is connected with the entire process.